So that was interesting. My recording software decided to not work there for some weird reason. That was just weird. Okay, so who won the Platinum contest and what kind of questions did they ask? First off, let me just throw a huge thank you to everybody out there. I thought I was being greedy saying at 200 likes because I think I've only actually reached that 3 times in total ever. Didn't expect it to go as high as it did, if I am brutally honest here. It's 509 as I record this. I kind of wish I'd gone for the 500 likes because, well, it still would have reached it, and that is by far the most likes any of my videos has ever had. 611 people actually asked questions, and I would love to go through them all. I really would. I've read through most of them. I'm actually still looking through some of them, but unfortunately there could only be 4 actual codes. Now, the people who have won this, the messages have been sent. You have to log into YouTube, click on community and then messages, and it should show up there, I hope. Then all you gotta do is go to the Warframe website, click on buy platinum, go to promo code, and it's all explained in the message. But without further ado, let's actually get on to who won this and hope that my programs work correctly, because I'm a bit of an idiot. The first question, or winner, or however you want to put that, is from Gree. Probably pronouncing that wrong, so we'll not even attempt the other name. Did you went to college? What was your major? Technically, yes, I did, actually. I have qualifications in MC, SE, CCNE, I think it's called now. I cannot remember if it's A plus or A plus plus. It's basically the hardware side of computers. There's one called Computer Sciences. There was another one that's literally just called a degree in IT, Information and Technology. There was one that's just called Information and Technology, but that is probably my oldest one. And the one that I refuse to get is simply called the European Computer Driving License, because it's just one of those you know how to turn a computer on courses. And it would be really easy to do, and I have had problems finding a job because I downright refuse to do it. But when I have a qualification that says I could build you a PC, and then they ask me for one that says I know how to turn one on, seems kind of hypocritical to me, which is why I keep having problems finding work in basically an overpopulated industry anyway. There's also, I think, one's computer science. I think one of them is literally just called Information and Technology as well. But I have done a lot of computer courses. I'm networking, how to lay the cables out, and I cannot remember the name of half of them, if I'm honest here. The next one came from Christian, again, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, and this was, how old were you when you decided to make YouTube videos? Well, it actually just says vids, but yeah. Technically, I've not answering that because it says how old were you, but it was only about 2 or 3 years ago, and at first it was just really messing around because I'd finally got my hands on a 16:9 monitor. Before that I was using a 4:3, which is the square one, and when I finally got a widescreen one, I was talking with a friend of mine who said you should try putting some videos up, and even though nobody really watched them, I still put them up anyway. But it's only been about 2 or 3 years. Is it more than that? But it's more the past 2 years with Warframe. Before that it was just when I had the time or when we did something that was worth actually putting up. But there was a few times I did put some crap up, like some of the Portal stuff I still have up is I didn't actually capture the other person's voice at all, so it's me talking away to him and he cannot hear me. This is the same person who actually introduced me to Warframe as well. I should add that. The third winner, I cannot really make any sense of the question, and I do not want to butcher the name either, so where do I get my Kubro Prime? I have no idea. I didn't know there was such a thing. That would be something that would cause a lot of arguments. If anybody actually looked at the anything Warframe related this morning, Remembering today is obviously Sunday, I'm recording this the same day it goes up, like I do with most of my stuff. Some of it anyway. There has been a lot of controversy about a few things, so Kubro Prime would like to see it, but I doubt it'll ever exist, considering the Kubro is a tamed version of a pet that it's the feral version, but it's a tame version of that, so technically they are. What you could end up with, however, is Prime Kubro armor, kind of like the Sentinels add-ons or the Warframes add-ons, but for the Kubro, because Kubro armor is coming in update 17. The fourth and final platinum winning question comes from Sergeant Derps, and it was, what is your favourite breed of cat? Well, if you follow me on Twitter, you'll know I actually have 2 dogs. This does not make me a dog person, which is why I thought it was actually funny when Plat Cat actually spat out this question. Because, first off, I called the bloody silly program Plat Cat, and secondly, it's because that's an easy one for me. It has to be a Bengal cat. Because it looks nice, they are very energetic, and it's a great excuse to get 2, because you get 1, it's very energetic and will basically rip your arms apart. If you get a second one, they'll play with each other and wear each other out, and it is a great excuse to actually have 2 cats. They would not be outdoor cats though, simply because the last cat I had that went outside didn't come back. Technically the first time he actually went out, he never came back for 3 days. After that he would go out, but when it came to like 7 o'clock at night, he had a curfew and he had a home time. If he wasn't back by 10, I'd start to get really scared as to where he was, but he was usually sitting outside waiting to come in, because I'd have to tempt him in with tuna and stuff. But we'd eventually get him to come in, and he went out one night and didn't come back. We know what happened to him, but he didn't come back alive, I'll put it that way. So, really would, yeah, Bengal cat. Gotta be my favourite breed of cat. Now, it's time to give away the Ash Prime components, or the blueprints, I should say. Remembering that I have already sent a message to the person who won, saying that we'll have to arrange a time to actually meet in-game, so I can actually give them these parts. I will try and make myself available. The only problem I've ever had giving away parts within the game was the Arcwing weapons when I ran that contest, and one of the winners kind of went, oh well, it's kind of out of your control, and let us off. The other one took every single bit of platinum I had at the time, and every now and then still asks for more, but we agreed on it back then. You're not getting any more. But I just didn't have the platinum at the time, and that giveaway backfired. But these parts I do have. I did manage to get my hands on the Ash blueprint. So the winner of this was Sky Shadow, and their question was, when you first tried Warframe, what was on your mind that moment, if you remember? At the time I'd been up for 36 hours, and I actually the other month came across my first video, which was technically my second video, because the first one I deleted because I failed miserably, and unfortunately took the whole of the training part of it, if you will, with it. Kind of annoyed us. So when I first started actually playing, I was extremely tired and kind of in a state of shock as to how well this game actually played, performed and looked. The guns, not so much. The mod system was, or the skill tree system back then, was actually okay. It wasn't that bad, but the introduction of the mod system a little bit later did improve on that massively. But at the time I was kind of amazed of the quality of what was basically a free game. Of course, at the time it was only free because somebody actually sent me a code for the closed beta. Otherwise I would not have come across this game for quite a while afterwards. So it was kind of a shock and awe type thing. Couldn't believe this was a free game and how well it was, and I kind of wish at the time I knew how much time I was going to put into this. Because the first video I ever put up about Warframe, when I was playing it, I was annoyed and tired all at the same time, and it didn't come through that well. It made me sound like this game sucked, which it didn't. It really, well, technically it still doesn't. And I will wrap this up there because I have pretty much no idea how long that... Okay, that is actually really long. Yeah, we'll leave this off here for now. I now need to go and record some base footage to put this over the top of, because, well, on Twitter this morning I did happen to mention that I was running massively out of space. I filled up all my drives, so I started deleting some what I thought was older footage, which has left me with a to-do list as long as your arm, because I recorded everything I needed for upcoming stuff. I had pretty much done the basis of, and I deleted a lot of it. So I've screwed myself for the next week, so I can record this video and get it done. But now I have to go record some gameplay footage to put behind this. But anyway, we'll leave this off here for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.